All right, let's dive right in. We're tackling a topic that is on pretty much everyone's mind if they're dreaming of a life in southern Spain, the Malaga property market. Now, if you're thinking about buying in 2026, you already know it's an exciting but kind of daunting landscape. So let's break it all down.
Does this sound familiar? You've got this amazing picture in your head of life on the Costa del Sol, and then you look at the 2026 prices, and that dream suddenly feels a little out of reach. Trust me, you are not alone. It's the #1 conversation starter for anyone planning a move right now.
And this really shows that conflict perfectly. On one side, you have the dream, right? The sunshine, that lifestyle, the incredible infrastructure. It's all there. But then, bam, you get hit with the reality. These daunting price tags, really intense competition for every good property, and just a limited number of homes to even choose from.
Okay, so let's get real about that price tag shock. We need to understand the numbers. Just how expensive are we talking here? Let's dig into the data and see what's actually going on. So, let's start with our baseline. Right now, across the entire province of Malaga, the average price per square meter is hovering around 3,600 euros. Now that's a pretty big number on its own, and it tells you just how strong this market is. But remember, that's just the average.
Because then you look at the hotspots. You go to a prime coastal area like Marbella, and that price more than doubles. We're talking easily over 7,000 euros a square meter. That is a huge jump, and it perfectly explains why so many potential buyers are feeling that squeeze.
So, the multi-million-dollar question is, why? Why are these prices staying so high and, in a lot of places, still creeping up? Well, it's not just one single thing. It's really a perfect storm of powerful forces, all pushing in the exact same direction.
And this really breaks it down for us. First off, you have this relentless, continuous demand from international buyers, people from Northern Europe, the UK, and more from North America. Then you've got Malaga City itself, which has just transformed into this buzzing tech and business hub, pulling in professionals. And of course, the foundation of it all, that unbeatable combination of amazing climate and incredible lifestyle.
Now, this quote is absolutely crucial to understanding what's going on. The type of buyer has changed. It's not just about getting a little holiday home anymore. People are moving here for the long haul, families, professionals, retirees, and that creates this really stable, consistent demand that isn't so easily shaken by what the global economy is doing.
And of course, you have the other side of the coin. It's classic economics, right? Supply and demand. While demand is just booming, the supply of new homes, well, it just can't keep up. You've got planning regulations, land availability issues. It all creates a housing shortage, which of course just pushes prices even higher.
Okay, so that's the challenge. It sounds tough, but what's the solution? Well, this is where the smart money is going. Instead of getting into bidding wars in the most famous, most expensive areas, savvy buyers are starting to look just a little bit beyond them.
And this table is basically your playbook for finding that value. Look, if you've still got your heart set on the coast, towns like Estepona and Mijas give you that beach access and great infrastructure, but at a more affordable price. But, and this is a big but, if you're willing to go just a short drive inland to places like Coín or Alhaurín El Grande, the prices drop a lot. And your reward? More space and these wonderful, quieter communities.
So knowing where to look is half the battle, for sure. But now we've got to talk about how to approach this market. Because in 2026, it's a market that really rewards buyers who've done their homework and come prepared with a clear strategy.
Here are 3 steps. They seem simple, but they are absolutely vital. First, you have to define your non-negotiables. What's more important, great schools and transport or being able to walk to a doctor and shops? Second, research like crazy. Prices can be totally different from one neighborhood to the next, even in the same town. And third, please factor in all the costs. The purchase taxes, the legal fees, they can add a pretty chunky amount to your final bill.
And at the end of the day, just remember this. You're buying a lifestyle, not just a house. So you have to ask these practical questions. What's this town like in the middle of February when all the tourists are gone? How insane is the traffic in August? How painful is that drive to the airport for a 6 a.m. flight? The answers to these questions are what will really decide how happy you are long term.
Okay, so this brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? We've looked at the crazy prices, we get the forces driving the market, and we have our smart buyer playbook. So what's the final verdict for 2026? Is it to buy or not to buy?
This is the question I get asked all the time. With a market this hot and prices still climbing, does it make sense to just wait, hold off and hope things cool down a bit? It's a really tempting idea, but honestly, trying to perfectly time the market is a fool's errand. It's nearly impossible.
And this, right here, this is the most important thing to take away from all of this. Don't get obsessed with trying to predict the market's peak or its bottom. The right time to buy is a personal thing. It's when you find the right property in the right location that actually fits your life, your budget, and your plan for the future. When all those pieces fall into place for you, well, that's your moment.